This has to be one of the most iconic and popular Broadway musicals ever. So does this film adaptation live up to expectations? Let's get started on my review of Wicked. Let's go. What's going on, all my Flicksers? This is Jacey from Jacey Flicks, and I just got back from watching an early screening of Wicked in theaters. Before I do start my review, please note this will be a spoiler-free review, just in case you haven't seen it yet, showing in theaters this weekend. Also, please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date on more new movies that I'm reviewing just like this. And also, you guys will have to bear with me, I'm slowly getting over a cold here, so in the midst of this, I did get a chance to see an early screening of Wicked, so I'm gonna let you guys know how it is. So Wicked stars Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Jonathan Bailey, Jeff Goldblum, and more. Misunderstood because of her green skin, a young woman named Elphaba forges an unlikely but profound friendship with Glinda, a student with an unflinching desire for popularity. So let me start by letting you guys know that I have never seen this Broadway musical, but I have always wanted to, and surely after seeing this film adaptation, I want to make it a point to in the future for sure. But prior to this, I hadn't even heard the songs from this popular musical, nor was I expecting much from this movie. And that's just me being honest. Of course, I've seen the iconic film of The Wizard of Oz and the okay prequel of Oz the Great and Powerful, but I wasn't familiar with this story. I should also preface that with saying that I am not the biggest fan of musicals, so going into this film with little to no expectations completely changed my mind about musicals and films that take them very seriously. So Wicked is directed by Jon M. Chu, and he gives a film adaptation of one of the most popular musicals to date. Now, in case you do not know who Jon M. Chu is, he directed Crazy Rich Asians and In the Heights. So he definitely has the visual aesthetics and visual pieces and experience. But the narrative focuses on the journey of two young women, Elphaba and Glinda, or should I say Glinda, navigating life at Shiz University. Yes, it's Shiz, you guys. Shiz, okay? I did not mispronounce that, okay? And the choices that ultimately lead them down very different paths. Now, one thing I did want to let you guys know, and you probably wouldn't know this unless you're researching it or even watching this ahead of time, but the way Universal really marketed this film, they didn't let you know that this is actually a part one. So by splitting the story into two films, the first installment is supposed to capture the emotional buildup and a lot of the backstories of these characters that lead up to some of these other bigger musical moments. And this was meant to leave a lot of the eager fans from the Broadway musical really gearing up and excited for the second chapter. The world of Oz comes alive with meticulous set designs, which I gotta give Jon M. Chu a lot of credit for, because at certain points, I will say, except for the animals, you can't really tell what's CGI and what's a set piece. I mean, it's done really well. From the vibrant streets of the Emerald City to the whimsical University of Shiz, while staying faithful to the themes of identity, morality, and societal expectations that made the musical a cultural touchstone, Jon M. Chu captures this perfectly. Now, let's talk about the acting, because I wasn't sure what to expect from Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Although I've seen Erivo in Bad Times at the Al Royale and loved her in there, I wasn't sure how their chemistry would be and how they would be able to pull off such a big spectacle like this. Now, the performances by Ariana Grande as Glinda and Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba anchor the film completely. Grande brings a delightful mix of humor, charm, and physical comedy to Glinda, showcasing her mastery of comedic timing and a playful yet elegant energy. Her performance strikes a balance between arrogance but also innocence, particularly in the moments of heartbreak and friendship. Now, Erivo's Elphaba is nothing short of great. She embodies the character's vulnerability and determination with a quiet intensity, making her journey both powerful and deeply moving. And I'm glad to say, you guys, her chemistry with Grande is palpable, and together they create a dynamic portrayal of friendship and conflict. Both actresses honor the legacy of Kristen Chenoweth, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Idina Menzel, while making these iconic roles uniquely their own. So in case you guys don't know who Kristen and Idina are, they were the originals in the Broadway play that made it so popular. And yes, if you've ever heard the name Idina Menzel, it's because she does the voice of Elsa in the Disney films, and she also sang the popular Let It Go song. And not to harp on this too much, but Ariana Grande's comedic timing was on point. And I kind of didn't expect it, but then as I started to see the film and as I started to see some of these funny moments, it dawned on me. I remember seeing some of her, especially when she was younger, and Nickelodeon shows like Victorious and Sam and Cat. Now, although I didn't think those shows were really funny because I was a teenager by then and I kind of just didn't, some of the humor, I just didn't resonate with it. But I knew that she had some kind of experience. I just didn't know she could pull it off. And she definitely does, especially in those areas of some of the timing. And I couldn't help it. By the first like 30 to 40 minutes of the film, I didn't really care for her character. She just seemed a certain way. But as you start to get to learn who her character is and some of the decisions she makes, you start to feel for her. Now, again, Cynthia Erivo just kills this role. And when I was driving on the way home, I finally pinpointed why Cynthia Erivo was so captivating in this performance and even in Bad Times at the El Royale. It's because she has no trouble letting her facial expressions exemplify her pain. She does such an amazing job at showing the audience her vulnerability and honesty. Especially in this role, it really shows. I also recently watched an interview on a talk show where Cynthia said that she was bedridden with a fever after this audition, which actually lasted 3 hours, and how both she and Ariana lost a considerable amount of weight during the filming of this and for their roles. So it should go without saying that they were both extremely committed and they both did a fine job with their performances. You could definitely tell how really devout they were to this role and to this movie. Now, I also have to mention the supporting roles, and they also shine. With Jonathan Bailey's charismatic Furio and Peter Dinklage's poignant portrayal of Dr. Dillerman, adding layers to the film. Especially when I heard that goat's voice, I was like, wait, who is that? I've heard that voice before, and then it dawned on me. I was like, I'm actually in the middle of watching Game of Thrones right now, and I gotta tell you guys, it's amazing. He's definitely one of my favorite characters on there, so I was like, wait, that's Tyrion. I mean, Peter Dinklage. So that was also nice to hear his voice. I felt like he should be given more voice roles, to be honest. The ensemble cast elevates every scene, bringing authenticity and heart to the fantastical setting. Now let's break down some of the music of Wicked. And at its heart, it's a success, and the cast delivers in spades. Erivo's rendition of The Wizard and I is a standout early in the film, showcasing her vocal prowess and ability to convey raw emotion. Her Defying Gravity is nothing short of breathtaking, and that was honestly one of my favorite songs in there, as well as another song she performs when she's feeling a certain way. And I won't lead to any spoilers, but I gotta say one of my favorite scenes in this film was definitely the ballroom scene, and just keep that in mind, you guys, when you watch it. Well, Grande has a highlight of the song Popular, and it's pretty funny as well when you're watching it, blending her operatic vibrato with hilarious physicality to make the number unforgettable. The production design seamlessly integrates with the music, creating a cohesion and immersive experience. John M. Chu's knack for cinematic grandeur definitely shines in this film, and it feels a lot bigger than In the Heights or some of the other movies he's even worked on. As the first half of a two-part saga, Wicked leaves viewers eagerly anticipating its conclusion. Grande and Erivo have set a high bar, ensuring this adaptation will leave a lasting impact on fans old and new. If the second part maintains this level of quality, Wicked may well cement its place as one of the definitive modern movie musicals ever. As far as the negatives go, you guys, I do have a few rather small nitpicks. One of them is that the film is about 3 hours long, and although you don't feel it as you're watching it, I felt like the movie could have benefited from shortening some of the songs a bit, or even just removing one or two of the songs from this film, and definitely putting them in the part 2 of the film. With all that being said, you guys, I'm gonna give Wicked 4.5 flames out of 5 and a super fire film rating.
It's good. Really good.
And of course, I should also say this is if you are open to seeing musicals. You don't have to be a huge fan of musicals to watch it, but the story is captivating as well as the acting. John M. Chu's Wicked is a faithful and heartfelt adaptation that honors its Broadway roots while embracing the cinematic medium. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo deliver extraordinary performances, breathing new life into Glinda and Elphaba. The film's flaws are overshadowed by its emotional resonance, stunning music, and compelling storytelling. Alright guys, so have you seen Wicked yet, or are you looking forward to seeing it? Do you plan on watching it? Also, which Broadway play turned film is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Last thing before I do go, you guys, please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell to stay up to date. My name is Jacey from Jacey Flicks, and until next time, I'm out.